This is the 225th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, according to the book called Taiku by Rabbi Aharon Yehoshua Pessin. And a Taiku is an unanswered question, an unresolved question in the Babylonian Talmud. I'm told that there are no Taikus in the Jerusalem Talmud. And a rabbi by the name of Rabbi Aharon Yehoshua Pessin wrote a book called Taiku, where he compiled all of the Taikus in Talmud Bavli, in the Babylonian Talmud, and he put them in order, starting from the first in Tractate Brachot 8a until Tractate Nidah, page 63. I forgot which side, A or B. So, what's interesting, before I start this Taiku, the 225th Taiku, is that if you have watched some of my videos by now, you'll know that I'm a big gematria enthusiast. It's more like obsessed with is more like it. I know that some with gematria, you're either a gematria person or you're not. Some people love it, some people can't stand it, and I've met both. But I'm definitely from the former, and so much so that all of my thoughts these days are just gematriatic. I mean, that's my go-to. That's like, I don't think about anything unless it's gematria. It doesn't make a difference if I'm dialing a phone number or if I'm reading the calories on an ingredient label or looking at a license plate or thinking about someone's address. Those are all gematrias, and they're all sourced, or those are all tools to enhance thought, numeric thoughts. So with that introduction, the reason why I'm saying that now is that I'd like to make a gematriatic commentary about this Taiku, because this is the 225th Taiku according to this book, and 225 is the gematria, the numerical value of the Hebrew word chazir, which means pig. And I know that people say that pig is bad, but they don't like to say pig. But I think if the Torah says chazir, and the Torah talks about an animal called a pig, God created it, it's not a bad thing. And so I don't have a problem saying pig or chazir. And what would be significant about mentioning that 225 equals chazir in relation to this Taiku? It's interesting in that what I was describing about gematria is the way I analyze everything. I was looking in my X page on the feed, and there was an article that came up about this breed of pig that they just found, or that's discovered. I don't know where it is, but they're saying it's called a super pig. And this pig is like really powerful, maybe like a mutated gene or something. It's like they're like super intelligent, and they're wild or something, and they're strong and powerful. They call it a super pig. They found this certain type of pig, and so what are the likelihood that I will see in art? And that's not a usual thing that I would see, and I haven't seen anything like that in a long time. But what are the chances that on the 225th Taiku, I've written this in order, I've gone from 1, 2, 3, 4 since June 19th of 2025. I read each one in order. So how is it that on the 225th Taiku, which equals pig, I see an article, before I do this, I'm not reading into it, I see an article that talks about a super pig on the sequence number, the number, you can call it an order number, of this thing, which equals pig. I mean, when I see that, I think that it's gematria can really be seen as a science. It's a math and a science. It's one of the hard sciences, and it's mathematics. It's not just a cute numerology matching game, as many people think it is. And many people relegate it to just some kind of cute, fun thing. No, when I'm seeing these correlations and these synchronicities, I think gematria should be given more serious thought and should be included in the curriculum of a mathematics course in college or something, because and maybe one day it will be, but when I think enough discoveries are made about gematria to show that it is truly a scientific endeavor that maybe hasn't been discovered yet. So I like to mention these things. And if you watch my videos over time, you'll see that there are many of these type of things that I mentioned. And they're mysterious to me because on the one hand, they're obvious, they're demonstrable, and they're provable. You could just count out the words, you count out the letters, and you get the number, and you see the match. But the reason why is still mysterious. And well, enough about that, and let's go to the Taiku. This is the 225th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, and according to Rabbi Pessin's book, it comes on in Tractate Zevachim, page 108a. But it starts, the first few words of it start on 107b with Boy Rava Hama'aleh. Rava raises a dilemma. This question will result ultimately in the Taiku, or will it? I think it's maybe it'll lead up to it, but let's see. Boy Rava raises a dilemma. 107b, Boy Rava Ama'aleh, with regard to one who offers up outside the temple courtyard, and we know that's forbidden to offer a sacrifice outside the temple courtyard. 108a. Top of the page. Rosh ben Yonah she'ein mo kezayis umelach mashlimo kezayis mahu. The head of a pigeon, burnt offering, that does not have on it an olive bulk of flesh, but the salt that adheres to it after it was salted in accordance with the requirement to salt it. Maybe they put on a lot of salt, I don't know. Maybe it was that real hard, that pretzel salt that was like kind of coarse, that adds more bulk to it. But Rava's question is with regard to one who offers up outside the temple courtyard, which is forbidden, the head of a pigeon, burnt offering that does not have on it an olive bulk of flesh, but the salt that adheres to it after it was salted in accordance with the requirement of salt, see Leviticus 2:13, completes the measure to make an olive bulk. What's the law? What's the halakha? Is one liable for offering it up outside? Amar le Rava mi Parazika Rav Ashi. This is interesting. Is the Rava asking the question Rava mi Parzika, or is it just Rava and then Rava mi Parzika is asking? I don't know. I wonder who else thought about that. Amar le Rava mi Parzika le Rav Ashi. I think I remember hearing Eli Stefanski's one of his videos back in, I think it was in Brachos, maybe Shabbos, maybe both, that he counted up the amount of times it says Rava and there's different Ravas. There's Rava like Rava Nabaya, but there's Rava mi Barnash, Rava mi Parzika, and he said he counted like 52 or 53 different Ravas in the Talmud. So here is an interesting case because you have Rava asking, so it's without any moniker, it's just Rava. But then after we ask the question, the Gemara immediately says, Rava of Parzika said to Rav Ashi. So is this Rava that Rava? Or is it, if it's not, then how's it connected? So, Amar le Parzika, Rava mi Parzika Rav Ashi, Lav hainu pluk Taiku, de Rabbi Yochanan Resh Lakish, ti boyle Rabbi Yochanan, v'ti boyle Resh Lakish. Ti boyle Rabbi Yochanan ad kan, lo kam Rabbi Yochanan hasam ela, etzem, de mina de basahu, אבל מלאך תלאו מינה דיבר יונהו לה תיבוי ריש לקיש עד כאן לא קמה ריש לקיש הייתם אלדי פריש מיני לאו מצווה לעסוקה אבל הכה דאי פריש מצווה לעסוקה לה תיבוי ריש לקיש עד כאן לא קמה ריש לקיש הייתם אלדי פריש מיני. Maybe I said the same thing twice. Did I? If I do, I did. I apologize. But Tibay Shakish ad kan lo kamal Shakish asam ela di parish minei lav mitzvah lasoki aval hacha di parish mitzvah lasoki la oidim alashna Taiku. Okay. So Rava from Parzakia or whatever said to Rav Ashi, is this not identical to the dispute between Rabbi Yochanan and Resh Lakish with regard to a bone attached to sacrificial flesh? Rav Ashi responded, no. The dilemma can be raised according to Rabbi Yochanan, and the dilemma can be raised according to Resh Lakish. The Gemara elaborates, the dilemma can be raised according to Rabbi Yochanan. Perhaps Rabbi Yochanan states his opinion only there with regard to a bone, claiming that it contributes to the measure of an olive bulk, as it is of the same kind, the same kind that flesh is, meaning they are both animal parts. But in the case of salt, which is not the same kind as a pigeon, perhaps it would not contribute to the measure. And the dilemma can also be raised according to Resh Lakish. Perhaps Resh Lakish states his opinion only there with regard to a bone, claiming that it does not contribute to the measure of an olive bulk, as if the bone separates from the flesh, there is no mitzvah to offer the bone up on the altar. But here, with regard to salt, concerning which, if it separates from the pigeon, there is a mitzvah to offer it up. To offer the salt, even if it separates, offer it up. He would not rule as he does concerning the bone attached to flesh. Or perhaps there's no difference between the two cases. Taiku. This is interesting. This is like a double Taiku. This is a very deep thing. Is Rava's question the Taiku? Or is Rava mi Parzika's question the Taiku? If it's Rava's, it could be just a question of whether you can ask it according to Rabbi Yochanan and Resh Lakish. This is a trippy one. This is really trippy. What are we asking? Maybe it's both. Is it Rava's question, or is it Rava mi Parzika's question? Which is the Taiku? It doesn't say according to both of these things. This is a real ambiguous one. I like this. I like this a lot. This should go down the books, I think. Okay, did you catch this? What's going on here? I'll summarize it. Okay, maybe this is why 225 is Chazir, because the Orach Chaim HaKadosh says that at the end of times, the Chazir will become kosher. He said the Torah won't change, but even if the biology changes, the Torah won't change. But I have a funny feeling that the Orach Chaim HaKadosh was not talking about an actual pig. Okay, you can look it up. It's in Orach Chaim in Leviticus, chapter 11, right? Chapter 11, I think, verse 7. Orach Chaim speaks on that. He says that the pig will become kosher because chazir means lachzor, to return, right? To return, lachzor. So it was once kosher, and it's becoming back kosher again. Maybe it was kosher to some people, and then it will become kosher. It will turn around. Lachzor can mean to turn around too. Lachzor b'tshuva, to turn it in tshuva. So So maybe this is the key to that. So we're talking about a bird, okay? It's Tzipor. Who's in the Kan Tzipor, the bird's nest? And it's a pigeon, and the salt is attached to its head, and there's two Ravas. This is very deep. There's Rabba and then Rav Parzakia, and which is the real question? Is it Rava's question, or is it Rav Parzakia's question? If it's Rava's question, then we're only concerned of whether he is liable for going outside. But if it's Rav Parzika's question, then we're wondering whether you can ask this question according to the opinions of Resh, Lakish, or Rabbi Yochanan. So which Taiku is it? It doesn't say. I like this one. What's interesting is that it's ambiguous. And the word ambiguous equals, or ambiguity, one or the other equals 107. And this started on 107b. This is great.